I believe that nobody who looks natural on camera is winging it. Nobody. The news anchor is reading that TED speaker probably rehearsed that talk 100 times, and most likely with a coach. The veteran keynoter did the raps 20 years ago and no longer needs them. And you're sitting there comparing their finished product to your take one, or maybe even take four, and then concluding video is not for you, that you are not right for video. Unfortunately, I've seen that happen. I'm Chad Barr, and I want to tell you about the week that I almost failed to practice what I preach and almost fell into that same trap. A few weeks ago, I made a public commitment to raise my visibility. I built a content rhythm calendar. There was no more hiding behind busy weeks or client projects. And here's the thing, the content part was easy. I wrote that flagship article, capture my thinking and my voice, and then use AI to help me fine-tune it. The carousel came out of that article almost as a byproduct. The video script, the LinkedIn posts, all of it flowed from that one piece of writing just beautifully. One source of truth multiplied and published across every channel. The system worked exactly as I designed it and as I envisioned it. Now let me say this. For most of my career, that pipeline would have been the most challenging part. Minimal time to write, production team busy on other projects, no easy way to turn one idea into a week of content. Those were real excuses, and for decades, they were absolutely true. And let me tell you this, AI just took all of them away. So with the whole system humming, why did I stall? I'm sure you know the answer to that question, as I discovered as well. I had to stand in front of that camera and press that record button. Now I want you to understand something. I've helped my clients build their digital empires for years, their video environments thousands of times. Setup, lighting, delivery, equipment, publishing, I've done it all. And that expertise, I believe, is exactly what made my avoidance so comfortable, because knowing precisely what to do feels like progress. But I've come to realize it is actually the most sophisticated excuse there is. My real excuse, honestly, was actually sitting in that box in my office, a brand new teleprompter that I had not installed yet. It looked like a logistic problem. It was not. What it did is give my hesitation, in other words, a place to hide. But then, the day before the video was scheduled to go up on YouTube, the excuse ran out. I had to roll up my sleeves, install the teleprompter, test it until it worked just perfectly. And then, lights, camera, action. A few moments later, the video, surprisingly, was live. Here's what I never noticed until I was the one stuck. The wall did not show up despite an AI system that I fine-tuned, that worked just perfectly for me. It showed up because of it. In other words, my resistance used to have a dozen legitimate places to hide. No draft yet, no script, no designer, no time to repurpose. AI finished all of them in one short afternoon. And with nothing left standing between me and the camera, every bit of that resistance landed on the one step that AI cannot take from me. When AI removes nearly all the friction from creating content, the resistance that is left has nowhere to spread. It concentrates on the one step AI cannot take for you, which is being seen or visible. Now let's talk about you, because I know and I've seen where a lot of you are stuck. You try recording, you watch the playback, you sound stiff, you lost your train of thought on, say, take 4, and you drew a conclusion that is actually costing you your market position. And that conclusion is that you just not meant for videos. You are not natural on camera. I believe it's the wrong conclusion. Look at what you actually ask your brain to do in that moment or few moments. Recall the content, sequence the argument, Choose the words, manage your face, your voice, your pacing, all at once on camera with the stakes up. Nobody performs well under that load. Not you, not me, not the people you and I admire. I believe the people that you and I admire split that load. That is the entire secret here. And they split it in different ways. The anchor splits it on the teleprompter. The TED speaker splits it with a coach and hundreds of hours of rehearsals. And 20-year veteran split it by decades of practice where he does not need the reps anymore. Different method, same truth. Every effortless performance is preparation that you cannot see. You are never watching the absence of work. What you are watching is work that already happened. So there is a fork in front of you, and this is the practical part. You can pay the preparation cost up front through years of practice until delivery is just ingrained habit. Or you can pay it per video with a prompter that holds the words so you can hold the delivery. Both are legitimate from my perspective. What you cannot do is skip the cost entirely and expect your take 1 to look like their take 300. And if you need to start publishing this month rather than, let's say, 2031, only one of those options is actually available to you. Let me say this. I spend years telling my clients exactly this. Then I let my new office teleprompter sit in that box while I circle in front of my own camera for days. So I'm not saying this from above you, I'm saying that beside you. Here's the bigger point, and it is the reason any of this matters. For years, invisibility for me had an alibi. No time, no writer, no available production team, and it was all true. But guess what? AI took that alibi away, and it helps you write scripts, design, repurpose, and schedule. So if you are still invisible today, face what that means. The barrier was never production, it was never technology, it was never time. I believe it was always courage. But courage is not a personality trait, that you either have it or you don't. I believe courage is built through practice, not personality. And practice gets a lot easier when you remove the friction standing in front of it. My teleprompter did not make me brave. It made the brave thing possible on that Tuesday when I recorded. So here's my prompt for you this week. Not should I be making video or content. I think you know the answer to that. Ask this instead. What is the one act of visibility I have been avoiding? And what is the one piece of friction that, if I remove it, would make the act almost easy? Maybe it's a teleprompter that is still in the box like mine was, or perhaps in the shopping cart. Maybe it's something completely different. I would love for you to put your answer in the comments and tell me the one act and the one piece of friction, and I will tell you if you are aiming at the right one. And one more thing before you go. On August 6th, I'm running a free live session where I show exactly how I build the systems, the article, the repurposing, the whole pipeline in real time. No pitch, just the work. And if that is useful to you, the link is in the description.